What's this regarding?
Well, we're here on some
I shouldn't have pushed so hard.
Okay, here we go. This is hopefully the beginning of a new and exciting adventure. It's something I haven't done before, so I am looking forward to trying it out. I'm also nervous, but I am open to criticism, so if there's anything about the format, about how things are done that you'd like to comment on, please do. I do know you're subscribed to particularly this channel, early viewers, because you like the other stuff that I do. I think this is a wonderful way of diversifying and also another way of giving you more regular content. And I would like to show you Morrowind. I really am dying to just exploring it again, getting immersed into the world, the politics, the culture, the society of it all, and hopefully as well have you weigh in on certain matters if there's anything along the way. I'll do my best to read the comments and engage. I do like that aspect also. Those of you who haven't played it, it's an old game. I started playing it when it was early teens, 2004, and I just couldn't put it down. After school, waiting to come back and immerse yourself in the world, especially I think during school years, everything is a bit confusing, or early teens at least. It was such a wholesome thing to have two lives in a sense. Morrowind was a huge impetus for my own creativity. I obviously wouldn't be doing this channel if I hadn't played it back then. I think for a lot of the things I've done subsequently in my life, a lot of it was spurred by playing Morrowind, maybe even my interest in anthropology, who knows. But I haven't played Morrowind in full since probably 2006 or 2007, so this will be quite an experience for me to go through the entire game again, and to also experience the world and be reminded of moments that I probably had that had made an impression once, and might still do today. My ambitions are to play the game in an unironic way, where I show you the game through my eyes. And I think the enthralling element about Morrowind is definitely its world and its vistas, its quests, and quite possibly just the overall feel of it, but more so than the gameplay elements. The combat is quite frustrating to get into, and I will definitely have issues getting into that, I know myself, but it has some wonderful moments, and hopefully I'll be able to show you those moments and to highlight why they are so wholesome. But enough talking, we'll get into it with our Argonian Sings-Like-Cor. We haven't made him yet, but he is just about to exist. I won't be having myself displayed like this for the rest of the video. This is just for the intro. Maybe I'll do that eventually, just to kind of show my reactions to things. I don't know if that's even necessary, but you'll have my voice in the background and I will guide you through the game, and I will try to also tell some of the stories that we encounter along the way. So let's go. So here we are, let's get started. That is nice. Let's create a new character, which will be Sings-Like-Cor, and I'll be quiet over the intro here.
They have taken you from the Imperial City's prison, first by carriage and now by boat. To the east, to Morrowind. Fear not, for I am watchful. You have been chosen.
Wake up. We're here. Why are you shaking? Are you okay? Wake up. Stand up. There you go. You were dreaming. What's your name?
Okay, so here we are, and I don't know if you know who this is in particular, but this is Giup, and he is a character that you will meet in Skyrim as well. I have been thinking for days about this name, and I came up with it because it's quite catchy, and it's well, relevant to me and to Cor as a character. Obviously, there is a Cor that probably also exists in Morrowind, but let's go with this.
Well, not even last night's storm could wake you. I heard them say we've reached Morrowind. I'm sure they'll let us go. Quiet. Here comes the guard.
This is where you get off. Come with me.
Okay. So, we have arrived here by boat.
Better do what they say.
Okay, we will. I do like this little corner here. Not a bad place to be stuck. And
Get yourself up on deck and let's keep this as civil as possible.
yes. Okay, so are we ready? That is nice.
This is where they want you. Head down to the dock and I'll show you to the census office.
Amazing. So, as you can see with MGE XE, yeah, I think, there is some effects here that are not present in the vanilla version of the game, namely the increased draw distance, meaning you can see further. So in the background there you can see Vivek, and here you can see Epenhard, which are two settlements we'll be visiting. I'd say Vivek probably counts as a city by Elder Scrolls standards, and Epenhard is more of a diplomatic hub, but we'll explore that also. Okay, I just want to see. Yeah, that door is of course inaccessible. Oh, it is. You can actually go back. I never knew. Okay, interesting. Anyways, we'll keep going. And we cannot interact with objects yet, except for the tutorial characters.
You finally arrived, but our records don't show from where.
So this is where Sings-Like-Cor will come into existence. And of course he's an Argonian, and I will try to recreate the look that I had for him earlier, which was something along the lines of what a Parasaurolophus, a Cretaceous dinosaur that lived in the real world, looked like. So it had this horn here in the back. I think that is exactly the way that he's supposed to look. So let's go with it. Okay.
Great. I'm sure you'll fit right in. Follow me up to the office and they'll finish your release.
It still makes me happy coming back here. So we'll enter the Census and Excise office and become fully fledged. I'd imagine this is the equivalent of getting a visa.
Ah, yes, we've been expecting you. You'll have to be recorded before you're officially released. There are a few ways we can do this, and the choice is yours.
Sakosha Sakala, he is absolutely legendary. Just in terms of the fact that the way he delivers some of his lines is just. But anyway, so this is the character creation menu. Just for the sake of roleplay, let's actually just go and answer his questions. They're quite funny.
On a clear day, you chance upon a strange animal, its leg trapped in a hunter's claw snare. Judging from the bleeding, it will not survive long. What do you do?
So, do we A, use herbs from our pack to put it to sleep? Or do we not interfere in the natural evolution of events, but rather take the opportunity to learn more about a strange animal that we've never seen before? Which I think is something Cor would do, but not necessarily what Sings-Like-Cor would do. Or finally, do we draw our weapon or a dagger, mercifully ending the animal's life with a single thrust? I think that though Sings-Like-Cor is a scholar first and foremost, he probably would also have learned a lot of practical skills and attitudes from his Argonian parents. So I would say let's...
One summer afternoon, your father gives you a choice of chores. What would you rather do?
Would I, or would Sings-Like-Cor, A, work in the forge with him casting iron for a new plow, gather herbs for our mother who is preparing dinner, or go catch fish at the stream using a net and line? I think fishing is something that Sings-Like-Cor wouldn't be above.
Your cousin has given you a very embarrassing nickname, and even worse, likes to call you it in front of your friends. You have asked him to stop, but he finds it very amusing to watch you blush.
Okay.
What do you do?
Cousin is not respecting our boundaries, which is something that we'll have to deal with. So do we retaliate with violence, or do we retaliate by finding an even more embarrassing nickname? Make up a story that makes my nickname a badge of honor instead of something humiliating, which is a wonderful thing. I think actually Sings-Like-Cor is an intellectual in that sense. So let's go with the last one.
There is a lot of heated discussion at the local tavern over a group of people called telepaths. They've been hired by certain city-state kings. Rumor has it these telepaths read a person's mind and tell their lord whether a follower is telling the truth or not. You believe what?
This is obviously a bit more political, so let's have a look at it. In these times, it is a necessary evil. Although you do not necessarily like the idea, a telepath could have certain advantages during a time of war or in finding someone innocent of a crime. I don't think that Sings-Like-Cor would sympathize with this. It is also giving autocratic leaders merit. So let's see. The second option is this is a terrible practice. A person's thoughts are his own, and no one, not even a king, has the right to make such an invasion into another human's mind. So a bit more humanist and individualist. So I think that's something that's the best one so far. Loyal followers to the king have nothing to fear from a telepath. It is important to have a method of finding assassins and spies before it is too late. Definitely not either. Yeah, I think Sings-Like-Cor would probably go for the second one.
Your mother sends you to the market with a list of goods to buy. After you finish, you find that by mistake a shopkeeper has given you too much money back in exchange for one of the items. What do you do?
So do we A, pocket the extra money, knowing that shopkeepers in general tend to overcharge customers? Don't think that I think Sings-Like-Cor would probably nuance it a bit more. Return to the store and give the shopkeeper his hard-earned money, explaining to him the mistake. I think that would probably be it, yeah. Decide to put the extra money to good use and purchase items that would help your family, which I think Sings-Like-Cor would probably consider this if his family were living under dire socioeconomic circumstances. The last few years in Sings-Like-Cor's life have actually been quite nice, so I think he'd take a very middle-class stance to this.
While in a marketplace, you witness a thief cut a purse from a noble. Even as he does so, the noble notices and calls for the city guards. In his haste to get away, the thief drops the purse near you. Surprisingly, no one seems to notice the bag of coins at your feet. What do you do?
So do we A, leave the bag there, knowing that it is better not to get involved? Or do we 2, pick up the bag and signal to the guard, knowing that the only honorable thing to do is to return the money to its rightful owner? Or lastly, do we pick up the bag, pocket it, knowing that the extra windfall will help your family in times of trouble? So that is quite similar to the previous one, and I think for the sake of consistency, we're going to...
Your father sends you on a task which you loathe, cleaning the stables. On the way there, pitchfork in hand, you run into your friend from the homestead near your own. He offers to do it for you, in return for a future favor of his choosing. What do you do?
Okay, do we A, accept his offer, reasoning that as long as the stables are cleaned, it matters not who does the cleaning? Do we B, decline his offer, knowing that your father expects you to do the work, and that it is better not to be in debt? Or C, ask him to help you, knowing that 2 people can do the job faster than one, and agree to help him with one task of his choosing in the future. I think this is something Sings-Like-Cor would probably vouch for a more collaborative approach, in that sense that it does say a friend, and we would like to do it with a friend, so let's do it that way.
Your mother asks you to help fix the stove. While you're working, a very hot pipe slips its moorings and falls towards her. What do you do?
What do you do? Okay. Position yourself between the pipe and your mother. Push your mother out of the way. Grab the hot pipe and try to push it away. It all kind of seems the same in terms of we're just trying to make sure no one gets hurt. So if it's a possibility to push our mother out of the way and thus not interact with the pipe ourselves, then I guess that's the best one. Not really anything to do with morals and ethics, but just, I guess, like, what is possible in a situation like that.
While in town, the baker gives you a sweet roll. Delighted, you take it into an alley to enjoy, only to be intercepted by a gang of 3 other kids your age. The leader demands the sweet roll, or else he and his friends will beat you and take it. What do you do?
Great, okay. Give him the sweet roll now without argument. Beat you! I can't get over that. That's great. Great voice acting. So, sorry. Do we A, give him the sweet roll now without argument, knowing that later this afternoon you will have all your friends with you and can come and take whatever he owes you? Okay. So that is, of course, assuming that we can trust our friends enough for that. Or do we B, drop the sweet roll and step on it, get ready for the fight, thus no one gets the sweet roll? Or do we act like we're going to give the leader the sweet roll, but at the last minute we throw the sweet roll in the air, hoping that they'll pay attention to it long enough for you to get a shot in on their leader? I think that's something that Sings-Like-Cor would do of all these, just in terms of probably it'd be an opportunist in that sense, and just have enough time to think about how to approach this.
Entering town, you find that you are witness to a very well-dressed man running from a crowd. He screams to you for help. The crowd behind him seems very angry. What do you do?
Do we A, rush to the town's aid immediately despite lacking the knowledge of these circumstances? Do we rush to the man's aid immediately despite, again, not knowing what is really taking place? Or do we C, stand aside and allow the man and mob to pass, realizing that it is probably best not to get involved? I think in this situation, Sings-Like-Cor will probably do so. Want to get a bit more information before he makes an assumption on who's right or wrong in a matter like that. Okay, so we are a rogue. Okay, let's see what that means.
Very good. The letter that preceded you mentioned you were born under a certain sign. And what would that be?
Oh, this one here is easy for me, I think. It's either the lady, which gives us 45 personality, 25%, which makes it easier to interact with certain people, or it is the ritual, which gives us some pretty great and helpful spells. Mara's gift, which restores health 100 points on ourselves, so I think we'll go with that.
Interesting. Now, before I stamp these papers, make sure this information is correct.
Jesus. Class. So I think the questions were fun, but I'm not really happy with our stats, to be fairly honest. Many of these skills we're not really going to use axe, for instance. Light armor, I haven't really thought about what we're going to do in terms of armor and what we'd prefer. Hand to hand, no way I'm going to prioritize that. So I'd like Sings-Like-Cor to be a bit more of a mage in a sense. So if we go to class, we can of course go through the questions again and pick some other ones that would give us compilation of different skill sets. But I think it would be best if we just filled out the forms ourselves. Now we've done, of course, the role-playing bit. Maybe it's good fun to just go in and determine what we'd like our character to be like. Sure, we might as well go with light armor. So, next, and that looks much better. Quite happy with that. So, let's go. You now have a stats menu where you can always view your information. Right-clicking allows you to use your menus. When you're done with them, right-click again to close them.
Show your papers to the captain when you exit to get your release fee.
Succocious. Very good. And these are all our stats. So as we finish off the introductory tutorials, we'll get more and more menus to look at. I actually like the way that the game introduces you to this gradually rather than just giving you everything at once, because I've been playing Witcher 3, for instance, there's a lot of information. I like the way that it just gives you bit by bit what it is that you need to focus on. So these are our release identification
Take your
papers.
papers off the table and go see Captain Gravius.
Oh, he really wants me to go. Okay, take for release by Emperor Uriel Septim the 7th decree to the district of Vardenfell in the province of Morrowind. Our name is Sings-Like-Cor. We are an Argonian and our class is Adventurer. Signed Takosha Zagala, agent of the Satanine Imperial Census and Excise, the 16th of last seed, 3rd era, 427. So we are 6 years before the events of Oblivion. Right click, perfect. And
Continue through to the next building and talk to Celis Gravius.
Gankiel Duar. Perfect. Wow. Okay, so Sings-Like-Cor is of course a little bit baffled by the fact that one thing is that he was imprisoned under really confusing circumstances. Another thing is just that he is a little bit annoyed with how the Empire has just shipped him off to another part of the continent. So I think he's not a thieving person naturally, but he does have a slight urge to enact revenge. So I think he's probably gonna go and just steal a few things, just to also say, oh, do you know what? I need a soft start to this new world, so I'm just gonna take a few things, which he's doing now. There are a few kinds of beverages that we'll find around across Vardenfell here. So Matze is one of them, and you'll probably encounter, I think you'll find Matze in Skyrim's DLC. What is it called again? Dragonborn, that's it. Oh, there's a small chest here, so we'll have to find either the key or a lockpick for that. So we were told that there's a dagger here, and equip the dagger by dropping it in your picture in your inventory menu. So we have an inventory menu here with Sings-Like-Cor proudly displayed. So by dragging in weapons, we can basically put them to use. There's also a note here, Riskar. Riskar, don't think I have forgotten our wager. I want this dagger, sharp as a scamp's claw, by morning, Canciel. Oh, that's the guard we just passed here. Okay, so Friskar, I think we can meet him here in a moment's time also, as far as I remember. So let's just get the last stuff. And Flynn is another kind of Morrowind or Dunmer beverage. So, oh yeah, let's try lockpicking actually, now that we're at it. So, same with weapons, you kind of equip lockpicks and then you use them in the same manner as you'd use a melee weapon. And the way that combat and lockpicking works is based on chance, so you can try to hit something or try to interact with a target with what you are equipped with until it is that you are successful at the interaction, which is a weird way for reality or for this world to work. But anyways, the better you get at, for instance, combat, long blade combat, the more successful you'll be at hitting your target. Anyways, we can't enter this building before we have looked in this barrel where there is an engraved ring of healing. Ring is of course an intriguing element, and that gives us access to our magic or our spells menu in here. So we've got quite a few things to start with, luckily so. And the Ring of Healing is quite a nice little thing. Restore health 1 to 5 points on oneself. That ring will become relevant in just a moment's time, but first we have to talk to Celis Gravius. There he is. Oi, okay. I guess I have to give him. No, I don't.
Grab him!
Oi, what are you doing? We'll let your actions go for now, but once you release stuff from that, we'll get you arrested. Okay. First, let me take your identification papers. Thank you. Word of your arrival only reached me yesterday. I am Celis Gravius, but my background is not important. I'm here to welcome you to Morrowind. So, we can ask a bit about his background. The way conversations work in Morrowind can be a bit off-putting for some people. It works. And I remember the time when Oblivion introduced spoken dialogue, and a lot of people were raging against that. They were saying like, oh no, this is giving less opportunity for in-depth dialogue and it's breaking immersion, whatever, various excuses. But now that has become the norm, this, however, is a bit jarring at times, but I still like it. So I will try to read out most of the most important dialogue that various NPCs bring up. So we can ask about his background. I am Celascravius, a knight-errant of the Imperial Legion. And, okay, fair enough. We'll ask him about Morrowind. Yes, you are in Morrowind. I don't know why you are here, and neither do we, so that's perfect. Or why you were released from prison and shipped here. But your authorization comes directly from Emperor Uriel Septim the Seventh, himself. And I don't need to know any more than that. When you leave this office, you are a free man. But before you go, I have instructions on your duties. Instructions from the Emperor, so pay careful attention. Okay, duties, what kind of duties could those be? Oh, a package, great. This package came with the news of your arrival. You are to take it to Caius Casadis in the town of Balmora. Go to the South Wall Corner Club and ask for Caius Casadis. They will know where to find him. Serve him as you would serve the Emperor himself. Okay, yes, fair enough. I also have a letter for you and a dispersal to your name. Your journal has been updated. Directions to Caius Casadis, and package for Caius Casadis, and 87 gold, which I guess is the dispersal that we've gotten. Great, okay, maybe we can ask a bit about this Caius Casadis guy. Oh, report to Caius Casadis in Balmora. I can't tell you where to find him, but you are to go to the South Wall Corner Club and ask for him. Someone there can direct you to him. Okay, there's not a lot there, but we can ask a bit about Uriel Septim. We've met him in Oblivion. Well, we will meet him in Oblivion, just considering chronology. Yes, Uriel Septim is still the Emperor. Remember, this is taking place, Morrowind, the game, takes place 6 years before the game of Oblivion. According to my instructions, he personally authorized your release from prison and your delivery here. It's all very mysterious, but that's the way the Empire works. Silence, secrecy. Let not the left hand know what the right hand is doing. Okay, interesting. So apparently Uriel Septim, as we see later on in Oblivion, is a bit of a mysterious person as well. We never really find out why he's mysterious, because he dies, in Oblivion. Spoiler alert, of course, but yeah. Interesting. So our circumstances for being here are odd, and equally are the orders that we've been given from Celascravius. Let's go. Press J to use your journal and review what you've been told. You should probably check out Ariel's trade house up on the left. You're on your own now. Good luck. Okay, thank you so much. We're outside, a bit of fresh air. I also just went ahead and did all of that one more time because I was in sneak mode when I talked to Celascravius the first time, and that was effectively the same as me pickpocketing him. So I got a lot of the stuff that we've stolen removed, and just to make the game a little bit easier, I will go in and sell all of that. But first, let's talk to Fargrath. Are you the one that boat dropped off? To see a boat arrive at that time of the day. Hope the Imperials treated you well. I swear they took my ring. Your ring? I think we've already seen that ring as well. I swear one of the guards has it. I had it last week before their weekly Let's Shake Down Fargrath ritual. An engraved healing ring. Family heirloom of mine. You haven't seen it, have you? And then we can, of course, lie and say that we haven't, or we could actually tell him the truth and be like, yes, I found it, here, take it, and give it to him. You found it, amazing, thank you, you're now my favorite friend. I'll be sure to tell the others, especially my friend Ariel, who runs the trade house here. Go see him, he'll be happy to see you now. Great, so his disposition towards us, it has been raised significantly. He's very close to just completely being in love with us, so he is our first adoring fan. Let's go to Ariel's trade house. Oh, nice. And also the water has been given a little bit of a more realistic kind of visual touch to it. So here we go. Welcome to Errol's Trade House. I barter for goods or coin. I also have a small selection of spells for sale. No credit. You want a little advice? That's free. That's all that's free. Would you like to hear about our most popular potions or our most popular scrolls? I think we would just like to get rid of some of the stuff that we stole inside the Census and Excise office. So just to get a good start in our career as a freelance explorer. So we are going to sell our shoes because Argonians in Morrowind cannot wear shoes. So obviously that's luckily changed for Oblivion in Skyrim, but here that is just a sad thing that just is not, possible in this game. And we've loads of ingredients that we might or might not use, so that will require us to acquire an alchemical set in order to do that. So that works a bit like in Oblivion, where there are components of a set that we then have to collect in order to be able to create our own potions. We can't sell our package. We shouldn't sell our package. I think we can actually do that, but then we have to come back to come and get it again. And we're going to keep the other things here in our inventory. I'd like to just see if he has some protection for us, because it is a dangerous world out there and we are inevitably going to lose some life to various encounters. Great! Let's just have a little bit of protection out in this world. And in Morrowind you can wear multiple layers, so you can of course have the most basic of clothing underneath. Now Sings-Like-Cor is not really a fighter by heart, so he's probably when he was younger, him and his friends would engage in various adventures along the Gold Coast, but he's focused a lot on his scholarly endeavors. So for him, the idea of suddenly moving to a strange land without the comfort of Anvil and his academic circle is probably a bit of a shock to him. So getting back into combat, getting back into defending yourself against various hostile entities and creatures is something that he will have to get used to over the next many videos. But I just want to go and gather some ingredients. So look at the local flora and fauna. Luminous Rusula, for instance, here, and we have ferns, various ferns around the spot. Some of them can be looted as well, as far as I remember. Not this one here. It's almost like a cycad in a sense. Oh, yes. Draggletail. Very similar to the real world's horse tails that are also found in these sort of environments. And Violet Coprinus. Or Coprinus, if you will. Wow. Oh, Slow Fern, probably. I think we're ready for our first combat encounter. Mud crabs in this game are like in Morrowind, like in Oblivion, and ooh, is there more? No, there's only this. Hey, one go. Okay, I'm definitely going to stick to being a mage. If I remember correctly, ooh, Bunglesbane, of course. There's a lovely quest in Balmora where we have to gather some fungi for a lady in the Mages Guild that I will expose us to as well. But let's actually just start with this for now. I know that in some of these there are some of these trunks and what? Yes, they're little treasures. Oi! Little things to discover here and there. There we go. Silverware and cup and 25 gold. If you knew the effort I'd gone into trying to get those out, it almost wouldn't be worth it. Now, there's a quest further up here that I will engage with. Word of advice for you if you're ever going to play this game. The water's probably one of the most dangerous places to be in. Let's see. Oi! There he is. Okay, so Processus Vitellius. The body of Processus Vitellius. The interesting thing here in Morrowind is that you can dispose of a corpse, and which can be a little bit problematic when it is that... Wait, there we go. Which can be a little bit problematic when it is that when you're looting someone. So he has met some grim fate. Has that been by the hands of a wild animal, or perhaps someone wasn't happy with him collecting taxes? So let's go and have a look at what we have gathered from him. Tax record. Tax records. Processus Vitellius. From the Satanine Census Excise Office. Oh, we know who might know him then. Ariel, 450 drakes. Paid. So we just met Ariel. Elderfire, which is the haughty, kind of tall Altmer woman that walks around in the village. 130 drakes. Fargoth, 111 drakes. Finemouth, which is an Argonian, we'd imagine. Another Argonian in town. Drakes, apparently, so they use drakes in Morrowind, not septims, which is interesting. Okay, fair enough. Ouch! Oi, we have to get closer. Oh, perfect. Let's return to the whole ideal with Fargoth's ring, which is somewhere up along. We'll have to go back to Ariel's trade house. Okay, so upstairs we'll notice that there's a bit more life. Ooh. Hello, thank you. Okay, Prescar, Flatfoot. You look like you could use a friend, Outlander. Perhaps I can be your friend. I'd like you to help me recover some gold. Okay, we'll ask which kind of gold that he's talking about, or what the deal is with that gold. That's right. See, I had a bad run of luck playing 9 holes and lost a bit of money. Normally I'd be fine. We can usually keep some gold in our pockets just from the money the locals pay us for protection. Okay, that sounds a bit nasty. But I know some of them are holding out on me, especially that little fetcher Fargoth. He's come up light the past couple of weeks when I've shaken him down. I know he's stashing it somewhere. I'd like you to find Fargoth's hiding place. Okay, Fargoth's hiding place, what do you mean with that? I know the little fetcher's got one somewhere in town, just not sure where. I've already gone through his whole house, so I know he's not hiding it there. I'd like you to find out where he's stashing his gold. If you can, I'll give you a share of the wealth. Are you up for it? Sure, we'll accept it. We don't have to carry through with it, but we'll accept it. It sounds a little bit unsympathetic. Excellent, here's what I want you to do. I'm not sure where he goes, but I know he wanders around town at night. Watch his movements. The best vantage point is on top of the lighthouse south of town. That'll give you a nice view of all of Satanine. If you keep an eye on where he goes, I'm sure you'll figure out where he's hiding that gold. Okay, we've got ourselves a quest.
Don't stand about.
No, we won't. We certainly won't. We'll be off now. Fargoth, he apparently has a hiding place in town. We just need to find out where it is. And the best way we can do so, these are probably some of the best instructions you'll get in the entire game as well. Hyphophasia. Okay, we'll take these. Oh wait, these are 2 different types of fungi. Oh, Hyphophasia and Bunglespane. Okay. Let's climb up to the top of the lighthouse. And we have Thavere Vidrano. The names in this game are just really creative and actually just quite realistic in the sense you'd actually expect a character to be named that. The Wraith's Wedding Dowry. Oh, you gained knowledge from this book. Your unarmored skill increased to 16 points. Perfect. The Wraith's Wedding Dowry. Let's see how long this was. Okay, there's a whole story here. Do you know what? I will probably collect some of these, then we can do a core reading session. Okay, so this, I guess, is where Kriskar wants us to be. And we will just wait here until it's nighttime. Oh, and it's raining. Perfect. Oi! He's at it. And one thing that I really like about MGE-XE is that you can adjust the field of view just to kind of emulate a bit of a set of binoculars, it's like you're zooming in. Our favorite wood elf is on the prowl. Let's see where he hides his stash. Ah, of course. Yes. Okay. Oh. Okay. Fall damage in this game is not like in Skyrim and Oblivion. By doing it, let's see if this is... Ouch! Oh, that took quite a lot of our health. I think the field of view does make it look a little bit dramatic, but yeah, no, it is quite tall, the lighthouse. Good thing though is that you just wait, and waiting happens quite quickly. Oh, okay, I can't heal right now at the moment. Right, okay, so hollow tree stump. We found it. Now, Sings-Like-Cor is not a thieving character, and I guess he kind of feels a bit sorry for Fargoth. Not only is this Hrisgar guy shaking him down, taking his belongings, the tax agent is as well. And quite a lot of money as well. And the local guards are also. So I would say that we leave this alone and acquire our additional funds on some more kind of noble means. And for those of you who are probably like, oh no, don't take it so seriously, it's just a game. It's like, yeah, I know, but we're going to take some decisions in this game based on who this character Sings-Like-Cor is. And he's a do-gooder, yeah. Evening. Night times in this game are just beautiful. Right, let's go to the Census and Excise office and tell Sakoshius that we found the body of the tax collector. I think he'd appreciate that. It's not the most... Oh, so we'll have to go through past Silas Gravius. Perfect. We are back where we started. Great. And Sings-Like-Cor wants to do this. Probably he'd also be like, do you know what? I could either take the money from the tax.
I think that tavern girl was looking at me. How can I tell her I'm not interested? Oh no. Let's see. Is there anything else he could say? Oh my god. Okay. I love that I could just, I never knew he'd say something like that. What's this regarding?
Well, we're here on some honest...
I shouldn't have pushed so hard. The blue plates are nice, but the brown ones seem to last longer.
Oh, I know. I don't know if I could actually talk to him without... That is... And then imagine the guard is just standing there idly listening to that. That's just... I don't know. It's just... It's amazing. Okay. Sings-Like-Cor better behave because it's not appropriate to be laughing at people like that. Okay.
The blue plates are nice, but the brown ones seem to last longer.
Oh, interesting. Just to quote himself. Okay, let's tell him that we found a murdered tax agent. And you know what? Actually, before we do that, let's just save. Let's try to figure out what happened to the tax agent. So we found this body. Murdered? What a waste. I'd been wondering why we hadn't heard from him in a few days. Still, these are dangerous times we live in, and these sorts of things will happen. Did you happen to find the tax money he'd collected? I hate to be so callous, but I do have a job to do. Oh, Sings-Like-Cor probably wants to take a little bit of revenge on the fact that they brought him to this far corner away from Cyrodiil, so it'll be like, no, he didn't have them on him. No? It figures, I suppose. Well, thank you for letting me know what had happened. Okay. I decided to keep the truth about the 200 gold I found on processes on myself. Sakoshius was disappointed that the money had been lost and saddened by the death of his tax collector. He thanked me for letting him know what had happened.
I shouldn't have pushed so hard.
Okay, it almost sounds like it's him who did it, you know, just I shouldn't have pushed that hard. But anyways, I think as far as I remember,
this, then?
it's someone else in the village. I don't remember who it is. So, okay, so let's try to say we found 200 septons on his... Now the quest progresses, since we've been honest about it. So he replies, "Did you? How odd that he was murdered, but not robbed. Your honesty is appreciated. I can tell you that. I won't forget this Sings-Like-Cor. In fact, if you're looking for some money for yourself, I'd like to see the murderer of Processus punished. Killing an emperor's tax collector is punishable by death. Find his murderer, bring him to justice, and the Census and Excise Office will pay you 500 septims." Okay, perfect. Great. Let's try to see how we could do this. Perfect. Okay. So I guess we have to go and talk to people. What does it say? Right, so Sakosha seemed impressed with my honesty, but confused as to why someone would murder Processus but not take his money. If I can find out who has done this and execute the murderer, Sakosha has promised to pay me 500 gold. Okay. Let's see. We'll ask this done moment.
My time is precious, so make it quick.
We will. In Drell Rathryon. Well, hello, Sings-Like-Cor. I am Indriel Rathryon. This is Seydanine, swamp fever capital of the world. I suppose you're wondering what's going on here. I can tell you where the services are. Okay, so we are here to ask her about the murder of Processus Vitellius. Someone finally caught him, huh? Well, it's no surprise, I suppose. No one likes a tax collector, especially one who flaunts his wealth while taking our hard-earned cash. Only one who could stomach him at all was Thaviri over in the lighthouse. The two of them spent some time together. Shame, really. She seemed like a nice woman. We've actually just seen Thaviri over here, so let's go over and speak to her. I'd imagine she lives quite a comfortable life up here in the lighthouse, just because it's, you know, living by herself. Should be...
My time is precious, so make it quick.
Spacious, and I do like the carpet. It's quite cute. Okay, Thaviri. You are new to Seydanine, right? I'm Thaviri Redrano. I'm sure you have questions. Go ahead, ask. I have plenty of time. Wow. And she's a commoner, and she's plenty of time. I have to congratulate her on that. Okay, the murder of Processus Vitellius. What do you have to say? Processus murdered? No, tell me it's not so. He was the gentlest man I've ever met. He and I had become so close in the past few months. I don't know what I will do without him. I've only seen him get angry once or twice. Never raised a hand to anyone. This is so sad. That is sad. We seem to have quite a close relationship. Alright, we can ask her about what it is that she means when she said she's seen him angry, seen him get angry. Well, not even angry, I suppose. Saw him arguing once with foreign Gilneth about his taxes. He thought Processus had been levying too much and skimming off the top for himself. Ridiculous. Processus wouldn't have done such a thing, I'm sure of it. Please find out what happened, friend. And if you want to find out what became of Processus' ring, it would ease my heart. Okay, let's ask her about the ring. I gave him the ring many months ago and it was dear to him. I would like it to remember him by. Okay, so there's a bit of a someone obviously is missing Processus quite a lot, so we'll go and how about, I know that I think the murderer, okay, I'll just go and perfect, just healed ourselves, just preparing in case the murderer is not going to be reacting very kindly. And I have to get used to the fact that we don't have quest markers in this game. So I've recently been playing a lot of Starfield, and quest marker is it's very generous in that game. So having to just suddenly find things based on a few lines of text is something to get used to. Thaviri Redrano has mentioned to me an argument that Processus had been having with foreign Gilneth. Very good. So we need to look at the local map to see if we have passed Foreign Gilneth, little hut, little cottage. Okay, we're looking right at the cottage.
I'm waiting.
Okay. Okay, this is Foreign Gilneth, his little hut. Very modest living in this game, but I do like that they sleep in a hammock. I think wow, that is cute. Dance and Fire Chapter 6. Anyways, let's talk to him. Maybe there's a perfectly good reason for them having an argument. Okay. That fetcher, you're damn right I did him in, and a good thing too. He was skimming a lot of money from all us honest people, overcharging us on our taxes and keeping the difference for himself. He was always flaunting his money around, showing off his new clothes and jewels. So I killed the bastard and left his body out there to rot, with all his ill-begotten gold still on him. So you can be like, I believe what you say. I'll say nothing to the authorities. Basically sympathizing with what this man here is saying. Or you could be like, sorry, there's no excuse for murder and your punishment has been decided. It's a bit of a dilemma, obviously. And I do like this dilemma in terms of saying we obviously have Thavira, who is very fond of processes, and in her mind she's probably thinking she'd like to know who did this, but she'd also like to have the ring back, of course, that she gave processes just to remember him by. For Sakosha's wanting obviously an answer to all of this, and he will pay us handsomely if it is that we tell him what happened. The other side of the story is that processes might have been quite a corrupt tax collector and might have taken advantage of the local population of Seydanine, basically taken too much tax from them. Which is not unthinkable, because we do encounter corruption amongst imperial agents in Oblivion, for instance. So it's not unthinkable that processes would totally be in a position to abuse his power. There is some truth to the fact that Forin did kill processes, and I do think that it's fair to say that there has to be some kind of punishment for doing that, even though we do sympathize with the local population of Seydanine. Let's try to tell him that we'll have to be honest about what he's done to the authorities. Oh, okay. You're one of them, huh? Come to kill me? Well, give it your best shot, Argonian. I've no problem spilling more of the blood of the Emperor's lackeys. Okay, so he actually wants to kill us, so I was not expecting us to be enacting justice, but okay. Oh, I can't do that. Okay, now I have to just get used to this. So, fire bite. Oh, I failed casting. Oi, he's got quite some health. Okay, I'm just gonna go in and upgrade a weapon because I completely forgot how long it actually takes to kill something in this game. Especially if they have just a little bit more life than a mud crab. We're not able to afford that. Not even one of them can we afford. Gives us a bit more. Let's try that. So, and let's buy the claymore. So, we'll get those. Luckily, NPCs can't follow you outside of cells. So, when we are leaving a cell like that, Foreign is going to be staying inside. Okay, this is a little bit easier. If this was Oblivion, we'd have him knocked down in like 4 slashes, but this is Morrowind. Oh Christ. Oh, thank God. Okay, I was just about to die there, so I completely... At one point my health was almost full, and the next moment it's dwindling, and now we just don't have any. Offer. Perfect. Okay. Scroll of Vitality. Perfect. Oh, beautiful.
Where's that sign? Not long ago.
Scroll of Vigor. Let's go for that. We're gonna have to sell our mushrooms. There's loads of those. The pure principle. Oh, common clothes. Very good. Perfect.
You've piqued my interest. Please,
yes.
share your thoughts.
I don't really have any thoughts to share with him at this moment. Just want my fatigue back. Okay. Oh, progress. Okay. Unfortunately, we've had to kill a villager in self-defense. Obviously, we do understand his dilemma in terms of Processus being quite a not so honest or noble of a tax collector as he could have been. On the other end, this is Vvardenfell, and as you'll discover later on in this game, there's a lot of corruption. There's a great sense of justice amongst the Dunmer, and a sense of entitlement in terms related to that also, but we'll explore more of that. Regardless of it, let's go in and claim our reward and visit one final place before we end
Yes, friend.
this gameplay. And before we end this gameplay. I heard you've been asking around about his murder. I'm glad to see this matter brought to its completion. Here's your reward, Sings-Like-Cor. Good to see there are still some citizens who understand their loyalty to our Emperor. Our journal has been updated, 500 gold has been added to our inventory. As tragic as it may seem, we've gotten a good reward from that, and we'll need it on our journey. Onwards, one extra place to go. I think Sings-Like-Cor at this point is probably overwhelmed with what has taken place here in Saint Denis for now. I think it'd be nice to head on for Balmora. There are two options. We could take the Silstrider, which are these beautiful animals, kind of like a long-legged flea, basically one of the means of public transportation here in Vvardenfell. Davame Leiran. Okay, this is the seaport village of Saint Denis in Outlander, in the Bitter Coast region. I am a caravaner, and I manage the Silstrider port here. Tell me your destination if you're looking for a ride. If you're new to Saint Denis, I can help you with local services and any specific place in Saint Denis. Okay, we could either do this or we could walk. And I think there's one final encounter that we just want to experience before we head off to Balmora, which is the largest city in Morrowind. I'll show you that. We will also be engaging with Caius Casadus, we'll be searching for him. And not only that, we will also be trying to build a bit more on Sings-Like-Cor's identity. But first and foremost, we just want to, because sometimes things just happen in these lands. So a classic. Tariel. Poor Tariel. But he does carry some nice loot, including a Colovian fur helm that I think would be nice if it is that we wore immediately. And obviously Sings-Like-Cor is surprised by the death of this man as well, and immediately picked up the journal to read it. Tariel writes, I believe I may have found the correct formula for the spell I am developing. With it, I will be able to travel great distances without the need to pay others for the service. If all goes well, I will test out the new spell tomorrow. I believe I have worked out all the possible complications. It will allow me to leap great distances, covering many hundreds of miles. Never before has one been able to travel in this manner, vaulting from the ground, sailing through the sky, all without that terrible disorientation of a spell of flying. The time is almost upon me. My research is finished and all of my calculations are checked and rechecked. They laughed at me when I suggested this. We'll see who laughs after I leap to the top of their towers and scream out my success. Okay, he did scream definitely, but unfortunately not because of the outcome that he expected. Sings-Like-Cor is beginning to find his slightly opportunistic side of things, so he does like a nice outfit, so he will wear this extravagant robe, no problem. The Colovian fur helm is actually quite nice on him also. But regardless of it all, I think this is a nice way. We can actually, let's look at a map here. So, we're down here at Saint Denis. This is the island of Vvardenfell. Omitted is mainland Morrowind, which kind of makes up most of what I'm trying to draw out here with the cursor. And beyond. Skyrim is over here, about, and we have Solstheim here, which is also the location of the plot for Skyrim's DLC, Dragonborn. In the middle of it all, we have Red Mountain, which is the volcano that erupts about maybe a few years after the events of Morrowind. And by now we need to go to Balmora, which is about here around this area. I'm not really sure. I think this is the river that kind of connects to it, but we'll have to walk over there. And as far as I remember, the other way is actually it. Hopefully he'll make some friends along the way. Get himself set up for a brand new life in the world of Vanfell. I myself will be saying thank you for watching, and I don't know how this is. Let me know in the comments, and also if it is that you have any suggestions, do come about with them. We'll be leaving Sedanin for now. We can always return to it if there's something you want to explore here, but we have basically uncovered we basically solved the murder of a tax agent. We have been released from the Census and Excise office, and we've been quite good to Dear Fargoth, who most people probably wouldn't be good towards. So we've taken some moral stances on some things, different kinds of moral stances on certain matters. But let's play another time, and looking forward to doing this again. It's been loads of fun. And if you didn't find Morrowind to be a particularly engaging game beforehand, do let me know what you think of this. Thanks a lot!